For this part on negotiation, by the way, I changed the screen so that to try to look more direct, so that it's less condescending. So just in case people would feel it that way. So anyway, so this part on the indigenous negotiation, for them, not everything applies, but yeah. So anyway. So I'm starting with the first slide is about the indigenous view of negotiation in history, and I'm giving an example of Laurier Memorial that was the story they told, like the history they told. Was very useful to make understand that that it was their lands and that they had their rights and their laws, and also it was also useful to understand how it was to be in their shoes, like with what happened in history. So also that since the beginning, there's a tradition of diplomacy and negotiations, and and for example, for them, the Etskemek, when their ancestor had gone to ask for a reserve, it was a case like that. The oral stories also show places that are well known in the territory, so they show the link to the territory and the fact that they have walked that territory. Also, on the next slide, I'm saying that indigenous protocol for negotiation is based on consensual, is on circle, it's non hierarchical, and the relational comes before resolution of the what is before resolution, and then that it's also guided by the earth, by the land, by the ancestor in the community, that there's a ceremonial parts in it, that prayer, the sweet lodge, or any other ceremony is important. It's inclusive and it's centered on the oral stories, and that it's long term and intergenerational, like 7 generation if possible, and that the listening is used as a governance or as a tool. Also, I'm giving the example that when you did do the sweat lodge, for example, that it was giving them like a kind of unstabilizing them, which was useful, and also because it built trust between people, so it's harder for them to cheat after that. And then so that you create one spirit, that there's good vibes, respect. Also give the condition for the negotiations to happen. No verbal abuse would be tolerated. Give thanks and say the territorial claims, and the recognition is important too. So also how you do it, you create together a framework, so it's co-created. Usually there's finance, like funding for First Nation to negotiate. I'm wondering if it's also like that when you negotiate with a private company. So anyway, it's often there's often three parts that are negotiated. Some like 2 level of government, often the First Nations, sometimes a para-governmental entity too, like Hydro-Québec privé or private business. And First Nation don't have to prove that they have rights. also often when there's when you're trying to get to negotiate on something on the resources. You have, for example, an economical treaty of kind or treaty with a private business. So it's really important to give numbers and explain, to have and also conduct your own environmental impact, social impact, cost of opportunity, like all the best alternatives you're renouncing to get this to get together with this arrangement. And and one of a good example of that is an arrangement that there was in Newfoundland between Inuit, Innu and Valenco and the Crown. So, and also, Offerlegge says that you need mobilization to construct rapport de force, to be strong enough, So you really need that mobilization, like they do now in the territory, in the claim for forestry. So what is important in the negotiation process is to know yourself, so that you don't let yourself be carried by emotions, and also that you don't sell. When you say that you don't sell, I was wondering if it's literally. Do you never sell the land? That would be, I think it would be a good advice. Or it's just like don't sell in the sense of not trying to convince on the value of things, something like that. So anyway, and also to construct the trust with the other part and to come from a strength position is important. It's also important to save the face of the other part, to build golden bridges and give them things that matter for them. And so be strong, be mobilized in alliances with to have the public is behind you, is our strength elements. Then I'm saying that you can negotiate on different kind of things. It's important to be comfortable, to have confidence, and to be convincing. It's very important to be very prepared, and to persist to come back again with your demand, your important demand, like a child, and also to be patient. And for example, it's better to suspend things when people are getting, all worked out and all with anger and all. So then I'm talking about what the alternative dispute resolution is. Like it's the judiciary process usually, and mediation. For what I understood, it's better to avoid that, like especially the Tribunal for the Land Claim. And also, it's important to always have a best alternative to a negotiated agreement, a BATNA. So to really know what are the places where you will not go under. You really want that to happen. So this is the minimal conditions. So, and it's better not to have an agreement if it's not met. And here I've added, especially if it's with people that you cannot trust, because one of the things is that actually it's hard to trust the private company they are dealing with now. So yeah, I'm wondering about that. Okay, so what not to do? So try not to compete between indigenous nations, or between hereditary chiefs or urban chiefs or First Nation chiefs. Try not to lack time or to be too stressed on time. Give yourself the time, and try not to act on your cognitive bias. Don't let the emotion take you away. Don't take ethical shortcuts, and always try to know the batna. Know the batna of your adversary. So, also it's good to do letter of assertions. Letter of assertions are what you want to get or acquire. For example, the official land property of the land that was traditionally yours, or for example, 50% return on investment, 51% property of the enterprises, 50%. But this is more like a BATNA, what I'm describing now. And what you want is to probably propose more in the letter of affirmation, like to propose the most possible, I suppose. I think so. And also other important steps are to all decide the resources that you want to give to that, trying to get an agreement together, and also a framework of agreement, and then a principal agreement, and then you will sign the agreement, and finally, but not least, the implementation of it. So it's very important to build relations of trust for the long term. It must be conducted by the communities in an equal level. It must correct inequalities of power that are left from colonization. It must support self-governance. It must also avoid to be too legalist. A few things that are forgot the word. Anyway, so a few things that are difficult sometimes is that the legal framework is complex to understand and interpret. Also, there's jurisdictions that overlap, federal, provincial, municipal. So education of lobby can help, and also respect, being transparent. Transparency, all that. Being désintéressement. And also to prepare the implementation of the agreement is very important. It's 50% of the success of it, and so you really need to plan that and have dispositions for modifications, but also for verifications, to conflict resolutions, but also to put penalty if there's and let's say have exponential penalties. Let's say you don't the objectives are not attained in the first year, and then it's not their penalty should be a lot higher. On the second year, it's not obtained. So this is very important to have planned, and to make sure that all the follow-up that is needed, like the surveillance of it, must be financed by the agreement. So